Many districts have very few or a limited number of schools that have the community schools grant, whereas again, like I said, all of our schools here in Lynwood Unified are community schools, and so that is very unique.
And it's the word community.
Yeah.
Like when you think about community,
yeah, everyone's coming together.
Everyone's coming together, and just for the purpose of ensuring our families, our students, our staff, and we're all united.
Yes.
For the same goal. So it's really powerful. Welcome, Lynwood Unified School District families, to Beyond the Classroom. We're very happy that you joined us for this week's episode. And this week, we're talking about community schools. So we're so excited to have Dr. Don Green here, who is the coordinator of community schools. And this is a very special, close to heart topic.
Yes.
Because we've been working on this for 2 years now.
We are in year 2.
We are in year 2 of community schools, and today we're here to answer a lot of different questions that, even though we're in year 2, some people still don't understand, which is okay.
Yes.
Because it's a process, right?
Yeah.
It's a transformation process that as a district we've been working on. So before we get to the community schools, I do want to highlight Dr. Green and her experience and the different things that she has done here in Lynwood Unified that has prepared her, honestly, to lead this amazing work. So I'm going to give her a moment to explain, a little bit of your background and everything that you've done.
Well, hello, everyone. As Dr. Martinez said, I am Dr. Dawn Green here with Lynwood Unified School District, and it is just a pleasure to work with community schools. Just a little background information. I am Lynwood all the way.
Yeah.
So I was born and raised here in the community of Lynwood. I'm a true advocate for education and empowerment within the community. And so when Dr. Martinez first introduced the concept of the grant to principals, I was a principal at that time, my heart kind of smiled. I was like, oh my goodness, this is exactly what our community needs. I was very hopeful that we would move forward with the grant and, of course, eventually get it. And so when I got news, the great news that we received the grant, and we received it for 16 schools, it was just an amazing feeling, and I knew that I wanted to be connected with the work.
Great. So some of your past experience, you were born and raised here, you were a student here?
Student here, so I started at Hostler. I went to Lynwood High School, class of 98.
Class of 98.
And in my senior action plan, I wrote that I wanted to become a teacher. I eventually wanted to become an elementary school principal, and I wanted to do it here in my community of Lynwood.
Which you did.
And I did.
You're a teacher, instructional coach.
I was in the lead here in the district.
Lead,
yes. AP at Lynwood High School.
At the high, don't forget that, because all of that is all part of the training, right?
Yes.
And then principal. And now I'm personally very excited and grateful that she's joined the student services team as a coordinator leading the Community Schools Grant Initiative. So thank you for joining the department, and thank you for being here today to answer some of the questions on community schools.
Yes.
So let's talk about, for someone that has never heard of community schools, let's pretend someone is looking at this video and is saying, I've never heard of community schools. What is community schools, and how did we get this grant? Like, what is it, and how did we get it?
Okay, so when you think of community schools, you're really thinking about each individual school being a hub for their community, where they're looking at the whole child. And so you're looking at what is it that our students and our families and our staff truly need in order to be successful, in order to thrive, and really in order to meet the transformation, that we want to have. And so we are integrating supports. We are looking at what's needed. We're looking at what we don't have and how we can supplement with the grant to provide those things for, again, our students, our families, our staff, so everyone, our parents, who's going to be affected and connected by this grant. And so we were very fortunate, as I mentioned, to get the grant for pretty much all 16 of our schools. Lynwood High School was already a part of the community schools movement, and so now all of our schools here in the district are a part of the movement towards that transformation. And again, we're looking at the whole child approach. We're looking at the needs and meeting those needs.
Yeah. So we had to apply as a district.
Yes.
We had to submit over 500 pages of information on why our district should receive this money, right? And the amount was about 24,000 broken into 5 years.
Million.
Wow, I said 1,000?
You said 1,000.
No, not 1,000. Sorry. It that would have been nice too.
Yeah.
But it was 24 million broken into 5 school years.
Yes.
And we're now in year 2. And can you talk a little bit about the 4 pillars?
Absolutely.
So it's a framework, right? It's a different guidelines that the state requires for the implementation.
Right. And so we are very fortunate to have a framework. And so that really guides the work that we're doing. And so a key component of our framework are the 4 pillars that community school has. And so we have integrated student supports. And so that is making sure that we are providing mental health resources, physical health resources, anything that you can think of that relates to the well-being of our students and our families kind of falls under the integrated supports. Yeah. Next, we have parent and family engagement, because we can't do this alone. And I say we as, the school or the district. This is a community approach where we are working with our families. We are working with every single person that is a part or has interest in the district. So our parents, community members, community businesses. So we're looking at all of this to engage, and so that we can come together collectively to reach that transformation. Next, we have extended or expanded learning time and opportunities for our students. So thinking outside of the box. What are some new experiences, innovative experiences that we can provide to our students in order to really give them equitable access and opportunities that anyone else would have, regardless of where they live or the social economic status of the area in which they live.
So here that would be like before school,
after school, before school, after school, during school, field trips, yes, after school, and really tapping into the interests and the needs that our students and our staff have expressed.
Yes. And I think there's one more.
Yes. And so the last one is collaborative leadership and practices. And again, that is really making sure that we have a shared decision-making approach to the work that we do. As coordinator, it is not about what I want at all. It is about what we decide together, and going through a robust process to identify those needs and to make sure that the money that we're spending aligns with the goals and the principles of the community school grant.
So how does that process look like in actual time at our schools? Like, how are people working together to make sure that you're identifying the needs, that you're figuring out what does the school need, what does the school want, and how does that look like, the process?
I have to first say that we have a dynamic, awesome team of community schools case managers who have their feet on the ground at each school site. And so they are doing the work, and they're working with admin, they're working with teachers, parents, and students to identify those needs. And so some of the avenues that they have taken in order to do that, or one very important avenue, is creating a community schools advisory council at each school site. And so this council uses collaborative leadership and shared decision making. And so it consists of course, the case manager, the principal, a member of admin, parents, community members, students, staff, be it classified and certificated. So everyone has a seat at the table, and everyone is making decisions or are making decisions together. And so they're going through a process in which they're doing needs and assets assessments. They're looking at demographic data. They're looking at academic data. They are looking at the systems and structures that are already in place at the school. They're looking at the SIPSA and the goals that have been established with that. The school plan for student achievement. Yes. So we're morphing all of these things together. And then the community school case manager also has a survey that they send out to their school community. And parents, community members, students, and staff all participate in this survey, and it's very important. And one of the things that I say really sets us apart is that we report on our survey to our community within about 2 to 3 months after the survey has been taken. So please look for our community school survey because it's going to drop at the beginning of 2025. And we really want the input from our community members for each school site so that we can better address the needs at that school site.
So by the time this video rolls out, the survey's probably out.
So I just want to say thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for participating.
Thank you, or look for it if it hasn't. So find out more about that survey because it's really important.
Yes.
So thank you for bringing up the case managers because I was going to talk about some of the funding and how we spent most of our funding.
Yes.
So one of the big chunks of how that got spent is our case managers, our amazing case managers that really have heart.
They do. And one of the things we were looking for during that interview process are people that have that servant leadership. And especially here within our student services department, I feel we're very fortunate because everyone here really has like that servant leadership. We are working to help others, working to meet the needs of others. And so we're doing it very selflessly, but this is rewarding work and this is what we love. And so we have been fortunate to have team members that are dedicated to that. They're so giving and so just wanting to ensure that their sites have the absolute best so that they can continue to thrive.
So they lead, the community school case managers lead the community school's work at every single school site. And another position that we have that is supportive of this work is
our certified student support and analysts. And so they are a very unique position and a very needed position. And so they support the behavioral challenges of our students within general ed. And so we know that pre-COVID, we had, challenges with some behaviors, but especially post-COVID, we had an influx of challenging behaviors. And so we just needed some specialists, in a sense, to come in and really help our admin, our teachers in the classroom, and our students, and not just that, but also provide support in home for those challenging behaviors and decreasing them so our students can thrive in the classroom.
Yeah, and that's really special because that position's not common.
No, it's not.
Even in other districts, when you talk about this specific position, it's not something that is common. So we're very grateful for the grant because they've been able to implement these special supports. So thank you for that. So how, next question, how do you foresee the community schools grant growing and our schools growing based on the work that's happening, like as the time goes by?
Okay. So we do have to do kind of like a self-assessment, and this is how we measure our growth. And so along with the framework, the 4 pillars, we also have capacity building strategies. And so there's 5 of them. For instance, one of them is a shared understanding or promoting a shared understanding, a collective understanding of community schools. And so what we have to do is we have to look at the rubric and we have to gauge where we are. So we have our Community Schools Advisory Council go through this rubric. We have our District Community Schools Advisory Council go through this rubric. And so we get to measure ourselves, like where are we in this work? Are we visioning? Are we engaging? And then that final step is transforming. And so that's, of course, our goal. And so we're very fortunate that even in these 2 years, be it short but long at the same time, we have made substantial growth. And so we are definitely moving towards transforming. And so my personal goal is that we are in that transforming stage by the end of year 3. And so year 4, year 5, we're just expanding on that transformational stage.
And one of the things that I want us to highlight and remember that as an education organization, our ultimate goal is to ensure that students are always academically ready for whatever comes after high school, that they're, ready to graduate, ready to pursue college or career or whatever initiative is that they personally want to do, right? So part of the community schools is also to support the whole child, right? Which is why we have all the areas with the different positions, but also they work collaboratively with the schools with attendance, ensuring that kids are in school every day. Like all the programs that they do, is to make sure that the kids are in school, right?
Right.
That they're learning,
Mm-hmm.
that they're fed,
Yeah.
that they have the resources to get to school, so we could address the whole child.
Right. And so one of the things that I truly love about the Community Schools Grant and the way we're implementing it here in Lynwood Unified School District is that it is completely aligned also to our Lynwood Unified School District mission. And so, we want each child to fearlessly reach their academic, the highest level of their academic achievement in a sense. And so we are doing that work.
Yes.
In conjunction with the mission statement, our equity plan. And that's one of the things that I feel, we have a strong stance on, making sure that we have that equity,
Yes.
that access, and the justice
Yes.
within the work that we're doing for community schools. So not only do we want to transform the lives of our students academically and just overall, we want to do the same thing with our community.
Yes, yes. So let's bring it down to a level where, as a parent, what am I going to see?
Yes.
What should I be looking for? How is that truly going to impact me? Like, what am I going to, how does that affect me?
Yes. And so as a parent, I feel like number one, your voice is valuable. We need to know what your aspirations are, what your hopes are for your child, so that then we can then work in partnership together so that your child is achieving that. And so that's why it's so important for us to incorporate the voice of our parents, to get feedback from our parents and to work along with our parents, but also just to make sure that our parents know we are here for you. We love your student, and we want the best for them just as much as you do.
Yeah.
And so, again, it's really that involvement, and that's an important piece, that parent engagement and involvement. So we are a community, we are a village, and we're working to ensure that our students are successful. And so I think that's what parents need to know, like, we are partners in this.
So if I'm a parent and if I get this survey, I should complete it.
Please do.
People are looking at my
Yes,
answers.
we are analyzing this data.
Yeah, it doesn't just get put in a database.
Nope. And we are
Okay.
using it. And so that's another thing. So parents, when you go to your school sites, you should see our case managers actively making sure that those 4 pillars are being produced in your school. So you're going to see additional opportunities for your students as far as extended time of learning, field trips. You're going to see opportunities for them to get resources through, as far as health, as far as even just as generous as toy giveaways or just different donations that businesses have partnered with our schools in order to meet the needs of our students. You will see that there's opportunities for you to be a part of those discussions in regard to what is best for your school and for your child. Yeah.
So if you have let's say a parent, they're monthly, the school.
Yes, each school has a meeting monthly, and so you would be able to get that information in your school's front office. But we also have presence on Instagram, and they usually post when they're going to have their community schools advisory council meetings, but it's an open meeting. It is open for all. Yes, we do have the membership, and you'll be able to also join in on that when they have elections at the beginning of next year if you want to have a vote on that council. But anyone is welcome to attend both our CSAC meetings, and that's the school site meetings, and our district community schools advisory council meeting.
So the first thing they should probably do is find out who their case manager is.
Yes, find out who your case manager is. Another thing is we have a monthly newsletter. And so that monthly newsletter also showcases and highlights the wonderful work that's being done through the Community Schools Initiative each month. So that's a wonderful way for us to connect to our school community and for you to understand and see the work that we're doing.
And how does Lynwood stand in regards to being a community school compared to other districts? Is it common for other districts to be district-wide community schools, or is it unique to us?
This is very unique to us. Many districts have very few or a limited number of schools that have the Community Schools Grant, whereas, again, like I said, all of our schools here in Lynwood Unified are community schools, and so that is very unique.
So we're
even
community
here in
schools
the
district.
California, yeah.
So
I think we're one of the only in the state of California to have that.
Yeah, and
so
that's such a blessing for our community
absolutely,
and our district. So what are some activities that have happened? I don't know if you remember, but I'll probably chime in with you to share some of the community schools activities that have happened in our district. That way they can connect, like, oh, that's what that looks like. Like, for example, when Helen Keller had their back to school event, where they had barbers, clothes,
they had free haircuts, backpacks, school supplies. So they had so much for students. And what I love, I was able to attend. What I love is just the mood that is set, like just that happiness, that joy that exists within the students, within the parents, and within the staff. So again, it's uniting us, it's bringing us together, and it's it's just us coming together in such a beautiful way where we are just seeing the blessings that we have, with the community school grant.
And it's the word community.
Yeah.
Like when you think about community.
Yeah, everyone's coming together.
Everyone's coming together, and just for the purpose of ensuring our families, our students, our staff, and we're all united.
Yes.
For the same goal. So it's really powerful. Share a little more about like how this is rewarding for not only you, but all the staff as you see them do things. Like, have you heard some feedback on how this has been rewarding to our district?
Yes, I think that especially where there has been that significant buy-in, where people really understand the work of community schools, those, the sites are doing amazing. And so just the opportunities that they have, again, the opportunities to come together as a community, doing things to, transform the school and, the opportunities of the students, it's been amazing. But I feel that what I hear often is just thank you so much. And so that spirit of gratitude, but also just knowing that we're inspiring people, we're empowering people, and we're making a difference. And so I think that truly is, most rewarding when you hear that, but not even just hearing it, when you see it. When I go to the school sites and they're having events and our case managers are right there working along with everyone else at the school, because it's not just us. Again, it's a collective effort of everyone coming together, and it's just a joyous feel.
When you talk about inspiring, I know that the district has been involved in different research studies in California to highlight some of this work. And I know you've been part of a panel during conferences. I've been part of panels in regards to the work that is being done in Lynwood. So it is special work.
It is.
It is special work, and we're grateful that we're part of it.
Yes.
But everyone's noticing. It's not just internal, like the state is aware of the wonderful things. So good job, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
Now, a little difficult question I'm going to ask you. Okay, it's all right. It's all right. It's not that bad. What are some of the challenges that goes into such a big grant?
Yeah.
It's a process. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of management. There's a lot of wonderful things, but there's a lot of work that happen behind the scenes.
Yes.
So some of the challenges that have happened or that are happening or that you just would like to share.
Yes. So we started right away with implementation. So we really didn't have time to plan. So our year one was very challenging because we were planning and implementing at the same time. But we did it because we have an amazing team and we set our goals. And we developed our mission, we developed our vision for community schools, and together collectively, we just ran with it. But one of the things that has been a challenge is definitely like the coherence and alignment. And so what I mean by that is, our district has so many moving parts, any district, any system. And so making sure that we are communicating effectively to make sure that we're not reproducing efforts, to make sure that everyone is on board, to make sure that everyone understands. It's not the easiest.
It's not the easiest.
But communication is so important.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the things that we have stayed committed to, is making sure that we have transparent communication with all parties involved.
Yes, yes. Even like purchasing something.
Yes.
Like it has to go through different steps.
Yes, it's a process. And so I'm thankful for that process, because, when you get such a large amount of money, you have to be transparent and you have to be just.
Yes.
Right? And so we have processes in place to make sure that that money is being spent in the way that it was, I guess, designated to.
Yeah.
And that there isn't any, errors.
Yes.
In our spending.
The good thing is there's different systems that hold every layer accountable. So that helps everybody just be accountable and ensuring that we use the funds that were intended to.
Right. And I'm on the phone with California Department of Education, like, hey, we have this, proposed allocation. Will this meet, your stamp of approval or not? We have a process again, but also we have a yearly report that's due at the end of each year. So we have a huge budget audit in a sense. Yeah. And so each penny, each penny that is spent is reviewed by the state of California. And so, we, again, have to be held accountable for how we're using this money. But again, the majority of the money is going towards salary and benefits. But I feel like that's great, because our case managers, our CSSAs, me as an admin, we're doing the work.
Absolutely.
And we're seeing the results of that.
Yeah. And then one more thing, we have our district advisory committee.
Yes, so we have our district community schools advisory council as well. And so again, anyone is invited to attend, but that mirrors our community schools advisory council. But we also have district admin on board with that. It's very important that we come together. So we have our LTA representative, we have a CSEA representative, we have our SEIU representative space available. We have parents from elementary, secondary on the council. We have students. We'll have students, but we have our case managers from elementary, middle, and secondary. We have community members, business members. We have the mayor of Lynwood on our council. So we are, the governing, I guess you would say, body for, especially for the allocations.
Absolutely.
Reviewing the allocations and how we're spending our money and looking at the work that's being done at each of the school sites.
Wow, a lot of things happening.
Yeah.
So before we end today's podcast, let's talk about our big events that are happening in May.
Yes.
Our city community schools.
Yes. So we had a vision and we are moving forward with it. And so one of our initiatives for the 24-25 school year is to have community school nights. And so we are looking to host a night for various schools. And we want to offer the opportunity for our community to come together, for our parents to have educational opportunities, for our students to have engagement opportunities, and for our students, families, community members to tap into some local resources. So we'll have like a community fair at the beginning. And so we're just expecting it to be a great time, but this is something that we truly want to do for our community.
So May 2025?
Yes. So we are looking to have this in May of 2025. So look out for the information.
Yeah, it should be happening in a couple months from
when we're in the planning phase.
Yeah, when this podcast is released. So is there anything else you want to share before we end today's podcast on community schools and all the wonderful work that is happening here in Lynwood Unified?
Yes, I just want to let you know that if you are a parent, if you are a community member, if you live in Lynwood, you are a part of community schools and we need you. And so I also want to just say thank you. Thank you to all the interest holders who have bought into the vision of community schools, because together we are truly going to reach that final destination of transformation.
Yes. So with that being said, community schools, Lynwood Unified,
Yes.
community school case managers, find them at your local school. We're here to support, and we're so excited to see where we're going with
Yes.
community schools as a community school district. Thank you, Dr. Green, for
Thank
being
you,
here
Dr.
today.
Martinez.
And we'll see you in next
And we have
week's
an awesome
episode.
director.
Oh, thank you, thank you. We appreciate you. So everyone, thank you for joining us today, and please look out for our next episode coming next week. Thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.